Gay men as allies. Now, this is a topic I've known many MGTOWs and posters in general have avoided. Um, I'm not exactly sure why. Spetsnaz has what I've heard is a typical uh, view on homosexual men in society and culture. Uh, well, typical for the Oceania region of the world. Uh, that's fine. He does have some good points as always. Um, but to be more of an American about it, to be more true to the North American, how shall I say, ethos, uh, I would like to start out my essay with a preamble, personal story. Once upon a time, I hung out with what for my state and my region is a very liberal crowd. How shall I say? My state has, through years of legislation and gerrymandering and cultural push, has guided all the people who aren't on board with the typical Christian conservative Republican value system, pardon me, into one congressional district. So I hung out with more college-educated, liberal-minded people. Heck, even the criminals in this area code, this congressional district, aren't that bad. Yeah, there's worse parts of my state. And pardon my voice. I think I've had too much caffeine. It swells my tongue or something. All right. So, I used to hang out with these liberal arts college people, these Democrats, these real hardcore Green Party liberals, real sort of nut jobby, libertarians. To some extent, I still do. It's no big deal. Hippies, generally honorable people. All right, so I didn't get a chance to talk traditional sort of big city sort of topics. I didn't get to talk about things I grew up in. I was talking all this ethereal, esoteric crap, which is cool. I mean, there's a time and place for everything. It's called college. But yeah, so this gay men as allies. Once upon a time, I was chilling. I'd been hanging out with my girlfriend and her female friends and their liberal hippie crowd and hippies, gay dudes, like really effeminate sort of counterculture, out of the closet and fabulous kind of guys, right? They're cool too. Like I've done theater, like nothing wrong with them, right? But I was at a party and I was chilling, sitting next to this guy, and he was like a dude, like close cropped hair, over 6 feet, about 180, 190 pounds, obviously worked out, sort of jeans. I remember something like just a guy. I was talking to him. We were talking about stuff we don't normally talk about. Sports, dabbling a little in sports there. Guns. Just normal guy stuff I hadn't been able to talk about in a long time. And he was former military. He'd just gotten back from, I believe, Iraq at the time. And he had like informed opinions, and we were talking for like 30, 45 minutes. Like me and this dude were really getting along. And like, wow, I hadn't had a honest, decent conversation about military campaigns in a long time. Like especially from someone who inside source. So I asked him, what he'd do, and he was like some sort of special forces medic. He was part of the group that has the motto "Do no harm, do no harm." No, N-O, as in sort of the Hippocratic Oath, and then no, K-N-O-W, as in know what it means to be hurt, know what it means to hurt others. You know, no pain from both the giving and receiving ends of it. You know, do no harm and do no harm. If you know harm, you don't want to do harm. And also know how to fix harm. Like, it's really clever. We'll get into it. Okay, so this guy's like a badass. And I was like a wilderness first responder myself, so, oh man, we're really getting along here. And I guess his friend of his was like one of these really effeminate, fabulous homosexual dudes. Smaller, thin, sort of, 120 pounds, one of these really, I'm not going to knock them, I don't know how to say what most guys think of in their head when they think gay man. Alright. And come to find out, the dude I'm talking to, this really cool military guy, this special forces badass dude, like that's his boyfriend. And I asked him, I was like, "You're gay?" And he looked at me like I was crazy. He was like, "Yeah, man, why do you think I'm hanging out with this dude?" As if he wouldn't be hanging out with this guy unless he was having sex with him. Which kind of goes into a whole concept, a whole treatise idea that, well, two of them. One, gay men, most of the ones I've met outside of college and outside of the liberal sphere of influence are just dudes that like to have sex with other dudes. I don't get it. I prefer vagina. I guess they don't. Probably born that way. But he looked at me and goes to the other section of thought. Yeah, most men wouldn't hang out with women. Most men wouldn't hang out with most women unless they were having sex with them. Like, yeah, why else do you think I hang out with her? Why do you think I tolerate her? Why do you think I put up with all this frou-frou, frilly stuff? Like, yeah, the look he gave me was just... So the point is, gay men as allies. A lot of them, or some of them that I've met, are just dudes. They're really macho, badass, shoot you in the face and or save your life kind of dudes. Like, popular reference, there was that gay military guy that sort of outed himself at the Republican National Convention. And he had like 28-inch, biceps or, upper arms. Like, they're dudes. There are guys out there who are badass, beat you up on the street kind of dudes who are just gay. Like, whatever. Alright. So there's my preamble. So, a topic I've seen very few MGTOWs address has been gay men. For several reasons, I wish to address this issue. One, I am attempting to cover topics either others have not covered or cover topics in a perspective others have not already. Two, I believe in unity of men and wish to include homosexual men simply because of their gender, their sex. Like, won't get into gender sex. Right. And three, in a sense, gay men have been going their own way for a very long time. And I believe much can be learned from gay men. So what can be learned from gay men, especially relative to MGTOW? Well, some of the data suggests that gay men have the most disposable income. The reason they can live such an extravagant lifestyle is because they can afford it. Typically, when a gay man or gay couple moves into a neighborhood, a suburban neighborhood, they improve their house better, lawn better. Um, Generally, gay people gingerfy, if that's the right way to say that word, a neighborhood. Um, so the ability to live without women uh, and benefit from it has been proven in the gay male community for a very long time now. In a way, gay men are truly going their own way without women. Among the ones I have met have been an oddly high number of military men. Um, so, being gay doesn't necessarily mean you're weak and effeminate. Uh, it's not one of their issues related to being men. Uh, they can be just as strong and brave as other men, even though they aren't attracted to women. Additionally, many of them are fit, well kempt, intelligent, educated, open minded, and have an innate understanding and an innate dislike of most women. There's a lot of MGTOW related qualities that men can learn from these gay men. How to be fit, eat right, take good care of yourself, be well groomed, how to educate yourself or acquire the traits of intelligence, and generally how to have an open mind, sort of a spiritual mindset, a Alan Wattsian like perspective on life. Also, with so many social criticisms and shaming and ostracization that gay men have had to put up with for a long time, they are practically immune from shaming tactics. Like, their ego and pride and sense of self-worth are untouchable, practically. Especially untouchable by women. They're like, hey, I don't want anything from you. Well, what are you doing? Like, yeah, gay men, it's just kind of funny. They're not interested in having vaginal sex at all. It's kind of funny. So what can MGTOWs learn from gay men? In a sense, they are living what PUAs would call for, or call a life without desire for pussy. Oddly, because they have no desire for pussy, a lot of women gravitate towards gay men. It's an example of understanding the female psyche. They can teach the rest of us how to live happy without women, while appearing and behaving appealing to women, and by appearing and behaving very happily, but very gaily. They can teach us about the things they observe in women. This is the most important part. From behind the scenes, they can confirm what many other men have only reasoned about the psyches of women, while at the same time informing us men as to the best way to affect women, as so we can have a positive effect on our own lives personally and on our society. There is the joke about the Twilight movies. The joke ends with like the punchline being what women really want in a man is a gay man, like eternally youthful, live, kind of fit, pretty, and covered in glitter. Just watch the Twilight movies. Think about it. What women really want is like the psychopathic, super strong, super rich gay dude who like wants to murder them and or have sex with them. Like, it's this weird, improbable combination of traits, right? Also, probably why Dexter is so popular. They want a guy that will kill and has no fear. We'll get into that. Okay, so it's the charm, the appeal of the bad boy. Alright, gay men can interact with women without the problem of Schrodinger's rapist coming into play. Schrodinger's rapist being that, especially with any woman under 25, I've had this problem twice recently in the last month. Yeah, you can't even talk intellectually or scientifically or biologically speaking anything to do with sex or anything to do with a female body, mind, form. You just can't do it, especially if they're under 25. And if they're 18 or younger, they immediately think the only reason why any man is talking to them is that they want to have sex with them. And for reasons that I still don't really understand, they believe every guy is a potential rapist. So, advantage of having gay men as allies is that they don't have to deal with the problem of Schrodinger's rapist. Thus, they can see and interact with women how women truly are. Again, to cite gay men's use for MGTOW, and I'm trying to take some advice here from Sandman. Oh, already running over here. Well, to be honest, gay men should be allies to MGTOW for two reasons. One, they are men, and all men should stick together. Life should not be a dog-eat-dog scenario in which every man is trying to be the dominant alpha male douchebag by taking others out. Like, the Greeks used to say the only true love is the love between two men, between two soldiers. Right? It essentially boils down to, you got my back, I got yours. Let's make sure we get out of this hellhole alive and go back to our lives. It's just, that's true love. I don't want anything from you. I don't want kids. I don't want sexual pleasure. I don't want property. I don't want food. Just watch my back. I got your six if you got mine. Nobody has eyes in the back of their head, right? So yeah. Also, no great thing in society, in mankind, was ever done by the single dominant alpha male. No great thing was ever built alone. There's great works of art, Michelangelo, right? There's great thoughts, Da Vinci, or Leonardo, pardon me. Right? Thoughts in art can be done alone, but no great thing in society has ever been accomplished without men working together, without men sticking together. No home was ever built by one dude. No skyscraper, definitely. No car. No television. Right? No matter how desirable these women think the king is, the CEO, no matter how desirable or powerful they think these guys are, no company can function without employees. A manager is nothing unless his employees listen to him, preferably out of respect, not out of fear. Don't be a boss, be a leader, right? Don't tell people what to do because you're some sort of slave-driving douchebag asshole boss. Help encourage people to do what's best for the group by being a leader, right? And to this end, all men should stick together. We should try to help gay men help the rest of us, the rest of the U.S., the rest of mankind, by inviting them back in to the man sphere, the man gender. And two, I imagine most men, gay men, I imagine most gay men get sick and tired of getting the worst of both worlds. Right, okay, like, not only do they get ascribed the sort of effeminate, sort of weak, all the negative qualities of a woman, right? Not only do they get ascribed the worst parts of woman, right? They don't want to have sex with women, they want to have sex with men, so they must be a woman. Like, this reasoning is kind of weird, right? But then they also get all the worst parts of being a man, too. right? Like insatiable sexual appetite. This is ascribed to them, sort of perversion and all the worst kinds of sex-related crimes. Like they get the worst of it. Like, okay, so if this guy's like an effeminate homosexual, then that means he, shouldn't also be some sort of like sex offender, like some child sex offender. Like people tend to ascribe the worst possible parts of both genders to gay men. Like it sucks. It's gotta suck for him. I mean, it's even though none of the data backs it up, I think that's the most positive or the most indicative, the most valid um, uh, piece of evidence. Think about it. Like most gay men are also sort of like naturally presumed to be like sexually immoral and vile and will sexually assault children, right? Like no, where did that come from? None of the data supports that. All right, and then 3 finally, and thanks for hanging in there, guys. MGTOW are truly outside the system too. MGTOW are men who have gone rogue, Ronin, maybe even in some cases former knights, that have abandoned the castle. And gay men can be like our spies, like that spider guy in Game of Thrones, right? They can be our spy on the inside. We have abandoned the castle. We're sort of at war with it, right? We want it to sort of fall apart and die, just eventually to teach women a lesson, right? But gay men are like right next to the princess. They're right next to the damsel. They dress her, tell her what to wear, feed her ego and her dumb intellectual pursuits. They are perhaps closest or closer to most women than any straight man ever will be. It's because they don't have to deal with the problem of Schrodinger's rapist. It is a prime tactical opportunity for MGTOW. It's a prime tactical opportunity for MRAs and even PUAs. Like, hey, PUAs, gay men should be your buddies. Why hang around with a bunch of gay guys? That's more sex for you. That's more pussy for you. Like gay guys attract females. Females to be like, hey, why are you hanging out with the gay guys? It's like, well, it's cool. Like, I'm open-minded. Oh, he's open-minded. Like all the women that gay men attract would naturally funnel towards the PUA guy, and be like the macho dude or whatever. Like everyone in the manosphere should try to invite gay men back to the man club. Get back in here, brothers. You've been siding with the wrong team for too long. Yeah. Remember whose team you're on, gentlemen. Remember whose team you're on. Alright. I vamped and improv'd a little here and there, but generally, that's what I'm talking about. Alright. You guys have a good day. Yours truly, M.